Welcome, adventurers! You've made it to the Wind Down, the live stream at the end of the Geekverse. It's a chill place to hang out here as the sun sets on another day. We're here to have a little chat, reflect on the day's successes, and prepare for a better tomorrow. So settle in with your favorite beverage this evening.
May I tempt you with a cup of chamomile?
Why, thank you, Dory. I would love a mug of tea this evening, but perhaps you would rather have some coffee, though I do recommend decaf this late in the evening. Or perhaps maybe a cold brew is more your style.
Oh, no thank you, Dory. A little red wine. For me, I think.
Sounds like an excellent choice, Gandalf. Whatever you want, it's yours. Could I offer you a bourbon, a martini, an old-fashioned, or something perhaps a little stronger? Ugh. Well, I mean, if that's really your thing, then okay, but I hope we can find something a bit better than that.
Romulan ale? Why, Bones, you know this is illegal.
I only use it for medicinal purposes.
All right, now we're talking. I'm Heath, and I'll be your host. Welcome to my home. Come one, come all, writers, artists, sculptors, storytellers, board gamers, streamers, dungeon masters, fans of sci-fi, fantasy, geeks of all kinds. Whatever your fandom, you have a place here. For soon it will be time for another long rest so that we can recover our hit points, our spells, and our abilities, so we'll be ready to fight on for another day tomorrow. But first, we all need a little time to reflect, because you've survived another long, perilous day of wilderness treks, dungeoneering, and random encounters, and that's worth celebrating. Let's tell the tale. It's time for the Wind Down. It will improve your life. It really will. Give it a chance. Here we go. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is so good to see you. Welcome to the first Wind Down in quite some time. We got the, oh, let me turn off this right over here. We're going to do some miniature painting. Now, there we go. We got a bit better lighting right here. I noticed we've got some great visual effects here with the sun coming through the window over here. I got the fog machine going for the first time in a long time. We've got the fog this evening. Been a while, but that's reserved for the Wind Down right here. I've got a glass of wine here with me this evening because I'm celebrating. I've been feeling very good this evening because this is, of course, the final hour of the Goodnight Sword Kickstarter. And this is monumental because, a major milestone, because it's the first Kickstarter that of the actual one of the worlds that is being built here on the channel, one of the worlds that's being developed. Goodnight Sword is, of course, my take on Goodnight Moon, written for the Tales of Rapavania, for people who want to read, geeks who want to read some type of story with, let's say, a medieval theme instead of Goodnight Moon. There have got to be geeks who want to read Goodnight Sword to their children, their nieces, their nephews, younger cousins, children of friends, whoever it is. That's why I started with this. So this one's for the youngest audience, and we're going to keep going as we go. So thank you all here for joining me and all who have been part of the Kickstarter so far. So let's see, who we got here? Let's see here. Let's see, Mike is here, channel member. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, grinders and fellow rabbiteers. Sable Phoenix says, I don't have any wine, but I'm here for it anyway. Well, whatever it is you like to drink. I have Coke and upgraded my backing. Thank you, Tomocrat. Getting a hard back for my nephews. Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for upgrading. The hardbacks are great. I've got, oh, here it is. Boom. Goodnight Sword Kickstarter hardback book right here. So it's approved. We looked through it. It looks great. I'm so happy with it. I was talking to, or I emailed Adam Botsford, the illustrator, because, okay, I'm getting close to being to the point where I need to start laying out that RPG, the Tales of Rapavania RPG World Primer, because that will be the next project after this. So we'll go to Kickstarter with that, but we're going to need some art. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be black and white. I'm thinking it's going to be a black and white interior, but I told Adam we might need to do some more art. So we will see. I really like working with him. He's fantastic, and he's got the theme of the world down. We worked very hard on that. Sable Phoenix, I was going to say, look what showed up over here. I meant to tell you this morning. Look what I got. Oh. So this was your recommendation on storytelling. So I know Doug got it. I got it right here. So I haven't gotten to read it yet. I haven't had time, but it just showed up. So I do have it here, and we will see, because it sounds very interesting. It sounds very interesting. So I wanted you to know that it is here. Good evening, Nathaniel. Welcome, another channel member. Good to see you here. Have a smooth evening this evening. Good evening, everyone. Let's see. Zero the Blade is here. Welcome. Oh, look, Positive Fandom is here. This is RM, the Positive Fandom channel. Everybody make sure that you are following the Positive Fandom channel, because also we've got the watch party of the cultists. There's been so much YouTube going on this week. So we're doing this tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'm not sure what our topic for the morning grind is going to be tomorrow morning, but we'll have the morning grind tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, at 6 o'clock, we'll be doing Hero Quest again. Dinner and a board game, Hero Quest. I'm going to be starting the Elf Quest pack. So we'll be doing that tomorrow night, 6 o'clock p.m. But then on Saturday, we have the morning grind again. But then at 5 p.m. Central, RM is going to be hosting a live watch party of Season 1 of The Cultists. So if you have not seen The Cultists, that's my comedy web show about modern-day Lovecraftian cultists who just want to worship Cthulhu in a world full of people who don't understand. It's a mockumentary style comedy. We're going to watch all of Season 1. So if you haven't seen Season 1's only an hour long. But RM's going to be hosting. I'm going to be there to provide producer and writer's commentary. Brianna was the director. So that's going to be at 5 o'clock. I put a link to that in the Ravenkeep Discord server already, and I will let everybody know by an announcement through Discord tomorrow. Not tomorrow, 2 days, Saturday, when that is going live. Oh, and thank you so much for the super sticker. We got the super sticker going here. Thank you, RM. I know, I had to add that. It's like, oh, well, that's really your thing. I know, the beams of light are freaking perfect. They are perfect. They are on point tonight. Hello, Stray. Yes, we should talk about that. Hello, Stray is saying, good day. Wit will improve tomorrow. Moved rocks. So we need to, we should talk about what that is, because it's been so long since we've done a wind down. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. Hello. Sable Phoenix says, I also highly recommend Saul Stein's books on writing, Stein on writing, and how to grow a novel. Joseph says The Cultists is hilarious. We got to get that out in front of more people. We're still going to strategize that as well, because not many people, there have not been many views on Season 2. Season 2 is out on the channel as well. So if you haven't seen it, Season 1 and Season 2 are on this channel. But we're going to have to rethink about how to kind of like re-release Season 2, get some more traction for it. I think it can be done, but I got to rethink here. I know, isn't it? James says, man, that's a heck of an on-point smoke machine. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you very much. I have not read Save the Cat. Hi, Zatran. I have not read Save the Cat, but I need to. Hey, let's go over here and check in on the Kickstarter, because Hello Future Me has his books on writing and world building. Now, I think I have watched some of that. I think I have. I remember. I'm remembering Hello Future Me. I think people have recommended me his stuff before. Okay, let's go over here just so we see where we are. Let's go into news layout. So here we are. Goodnight Sword. So this is the very beginning. So all of you are here at the very beginning with me. So this is Goodnight Sword, a world of gallantry, chivalry, and rabbits based on the classic story Goodnight Moon. So right now we have 48 minutes to go and 48 backers. So we are here for 48 minutes and 48 backers. Thank you all. So Hello Future Me is very much recommended. I have already backed, or I have already ordered some of the books. So what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks is that Kickstarter will collect all of the pledge funding, and then they'll send it to me, and that way I can order more stuff. But once they've done that, I will send out the digital rewards basically directly. after that. So it'll be about 2 weeks. And then I will also at that time place an order for the hardback books. Everybody who is pledged at the $25 level, I will send out a hardback book. I'll upload those. Right now, it looks like production time and shipping, like from the time that I put in an order to the time that it goes out, that's 2 to 4 weeks. So it'll be once I put in that order, so 2 weeks from now, it'll be 2 to 4 weeks before you get your books, approximately. So we are between 4 and 6 weeks to getting the books. But what I did, I noticed, I really appreciate everybody who got a signed copy. So if you get a signed copy, that takes a little bit longer because it's got to ship twice. It's also more expensive because it's got to ship twice. It's got to be sent from the manufacturer to me. So we got to ship it to me, then I'll sign them, and then I'll pack them back up and I will send them out to everybody. So I have already ordered those. So those are already sent. We might have a couple more people. No, it looks like that, right? So we got 20 people. If we got a couple more people or something in the last minutes here or whatever, okay, I have a couple of extras, but I already went ahead and ordered those books so that they can go ahead and be coming to my house. So it'll take 2 to 4 weeks for them to get to me, but they have already been ordered. And then that way, about the same time as the other books are being ordered, I'll be signing these and then I'll be putting them in the mail. So probably the people who are at the $35 level will actually get their books first. And it will probably be, and if it's 2 to 4 weeks for them to get to me, it probably won't take me a week. I mean, it won't take me a week to sign them, but let's just say a week. So we're looking at 3 to 5 weeks depending on when they get to me. The Zatran says, you should really make some tip videos for aspiring publishers of game and geek stuff. How to do a Kickstarter well, how to market, etc., etc. I would pay good money for that. I was actually thinking about this afternoon because I had videos and I thought about doing that several different times. Because I think I have something for people who I think I have something of value there. And I've given courses I've been invited, not a whole course. I've given classes and invited lectures on Kickstarter and game publishing specifically. Montevallo, I'll put this up so we can see the countdown. We'll scroll back up. Montevallo, the University of Montevallo isn't far from me. And they actually have a game design major. Oh, is it a major or is it a minor? Well, they have a game design department, and I can't remember whether it's a major or minor. And I've been over there to give guest lectures on the game design process and also the Kickstarter funding and things like that. And I have wondered if there was some way to bring that out and provide it to more people. Like you recommend, like a Udemy course. Or I was thinking this afternoon. I was thinking about this afternoon, and I could do like a live webinar. This software that I'm using right here allows us to have webinars. And so I was also thinking, well, some of them I could even do live. Oh, we got another backer. 49 backers. So we got another backer. Here is to that backer who just came in. One more backer, 49. I wonder if we can make it to 50. That was to our 49th backer right there. So I've actually been thinking about that because I've raised in total, I've raised over $2.5 million through crowdfunding. And I do have lessons and I like teaching. So, crowdfunding has been there are ups, there are downs. There have been, and lately we've been in the low. lately I've been down low for about the last 18 months. Trying to pull out of that, getting this started, growing again, so starting again. But crowdfunding is a major way that I've been able to do my creative projects. Like I said, there have been ups, there have been downs, there have been successes, there have been failures. But, I've been far less successful than some. But I do like teaching, and I've been more successful than most. So I would be happy to share. If I can find the best way to share that information, I will be happy to. Oh, 49 backers, was that on you? I've sent out some additional emails and stuff, so I don't know. we will see how they're coming in, so we will see. But I'll think about that. And if people have a specific interest in things like that on that side of things, then on that, it's a little bit the interest of how to run your own Kickstarters and raise money and the whole side of company and business promotion and things like that. Because I have done consulting at some points. They haven't been terribly successful, from the point that most of the time when people come in to do some kind of Kickstarter promotion, or have wanted me to do some Kickstarter promotion, um, actually their projects either have not ever gotten underway at all, or never really worked. I was brought on, I think a couple of projects, but one in a more major sense, when somebody wanted to help crowdfund a film, and they were uh, wanted to bring me on as a consultant for crowdfunding a film, and those are difficult. Those are difficult. They decided that Weaver wasn't even for them, because of once we started breaking down the math and what was going to be necessary in order to get it to happen. They decided that, okay, we can't do that. But thank you. So that is some inspiration for perhaps thinking about that. It's a bit, because we do have a lot of creative people here. That's part of the morning grind. I'm really enthusiastic about that we have people who are creating their own stuff here. People talk about the games they're creating, the RPGs they're creating, all that kind of stuff. We got 50. People talk about that in the morning grind. And so we talk about the game development side. We can take a look. Eventually, we'll take a look at, what people are developing. We have done that before. We can still do that again, but also I know there are people who are trying to get their own stuff off the ground. And so if I can help that would be great. I will be happy to. 50 backers. 50 backers. Here's the 50th backer. Is that a glycerin fog machine? It's not terribly healthy to breathe that stuff. I actually don't know what it is. That's a good question. What's actually in it is over there. Mike says, I imagine attending one of your courses would be a hoot. Well, I will think about that. I'll see if I can do it. And it might be fun to do it as like a live interactive web course. I like the live parts. So it might be something that we do live. I'll think about that. 50 backers. I was hoping we were going to get to 50. Okay, let's see. One thing that we do that we have not been able to do in a while is that the purposes of the wind down. When we were doing the wind down originally, when I first developed the wind down, at first when I started almost a little bit more than 200 episodes ago doing the morning grind, we would do the morning grind. That was at 9:30, and then I decided I needed some other type of anchor in the evening of life, and so I started doing the wind down. And we did a wind down every evening, starting at like 7 o'clock or something like that, to book into the day. So we'd have the morning grind pep rally, and then kind of a chill way to end the day here at the end. Now, since then, we've developed other shows in the evening. We've got the table talk, which is great. I'm finally getting back to dinner and a board game, which is on Friday nights. Having other people in for table talk. We'd even done some gaming. Oh, which, by the way, I was seeing that Diablo 4 is about to be released. So Diablo 4 is coming, and I do want to play Diablo 4. We need to get some type of Ravenkeep Discord server or something. We got the Ravenkeep Discord server, but some type of Ravenkeep Diablo server or whatever that's going to be, because I want to be able to play, and I think it would be fun if I assume that you can all play together and get in the same world. It would be fun for anybody who wants to play Diablo 4 to be able to all get together and have some type of, what do they call it, a guild or something like that. That might be fun. I'm not a huge video gamer, but I've always enjoyed the Diablo franchise. So I want to check out the Diablo franchise when we get started again. But so that was, we were trying to use the wind down as to bookend and report back for our productivity, because that's what actually, that's what Stray was talking about with the abbreviations, the GD and the WIT, WIT, GD and WIT. So Diablo 4 is set up for a clan with multiplayer. Okay, we'll investigate. See, that would be fun. See, I'd watch some with Diablo. Maybe we can run a multiplayer game with some subscribers. I don't play a lot. Now, I know there's some stuff going on. I know there's some drama, and I understand that. Or I understand there is some drama, so I understand that. I don't know what it is, but I know there has been some drama. I'm still curious about it. Clan Ravenkeep. All right, we will see about that. Let's see. when we were trying to do productivity, and we haven't actually done our productivity sections in the morning like we should have, because I've been going for 90 minutes in the morning and we've been kind of tabletop focused. But let me see if I swap over here, if I can show you what we used to do as far as our productivity goes. We use this method. So if you're trying to create something, we use the morning grind productivity method. So this was our productivity method, and I have been trying to follow this myself. I try to keep track of what happens to me day by day and try to keep track of all of my time every day and try to make sure that I'm using it as productively as possible. So I track all of that in a notebook here. And so I was trying to help myself in the morning by saying, I got to get up, I got to do this show, and then I got to be productive for the rest of the day. And then I report back to everybody, and everybody else holds themselves accountable. So we all have mutual accountability. That's why the productivity section of the Raven Keep Discord server is there, to hold each other accountable if we're trying to create things and we're trying to do things. So I came up with the index card productivity method that we used. And I used to play this at the end of some morning grinds. So we could get back to it. We like at the end of it. So if you were done with tabletop gaming, you weren't interested, you could just tune out. But if you wanted to be productive with us, then you had this at the end. And then you could also report back here on the wind down. Maybe I'm not explaining this well. So here was the index card productivity method. And that's what we're talking about, moving big rocks. Gray said that big rocks were moved. So this is what that means. So Raven Keep is supposed to be also about accountability and productivity. So here is the index card productivity method.
Well, I manage my department, and I've been doing that for several years now.
Your department's just you, right?
Yes, Jim, but I am not easy to manage.
If you would like to join in on being more productive with me and everyone else here on the stream, but are in need of a system to help you out, here's an easy system that you can adopt and that I recommend. Grab a sheet of paper. I find that an index card folded in half is the perfect size for this. But if you don't have an index card, no problem. Any scratch piece of paper will work just fine. Just grab it and a pen or pencil. Think for a moment and come up with the 3 things that if you were to accomplish them today, you would know and feel that it was a great day. I bet you can take a breath right now and think for just a moment, and you will know what those 3 things are. We're going to call these 3 items our big rocks. Our objective is to move these big rocks during the day. Now, don't make the rocks too big, because then you can't move them. Rocks that are too big to move in about a third of a day, we call those huge rocks. Moving the huge rocks is our major multi-day goals in life. But in order to move them, we have to break up the huge rocks into big rocks that we can actually pick up and move around. But we don't want these rocks to be too small, because although small rocks are easy to move, we don't feel sufficient accomplishment when we move them. Moving the big rocks makes us feel accomplished because they advance us toward our objectives in significant ways. You decide what size tasks are small, big, and huge rocks for you. If you get all 3 of these tasks done, then go ahead and add a 4th or a 5th big rock. But don't do that unless you've finished your big 3. You want to look at your list at the end of the day and feel success and accomplishment. You can use your phone for this if you want to, but I think a sheet of paper is better because then you don't have to pick up your phone to check your list of big rocks and potentially get sucked into all the distraction on your phone. The phone will also let you put 20 or 30 things on the list, no problem. Half an index card will keep this tight and focused. I know there are dozens of things on my to-do list on my computer, and that's too much. This method allows me to extract what I really need to do during the day and focus on that. If you're already using a productivity method that you like, no problem, use that. Do what works for you. Now let's write down our big rocks and try to get them done between now and the wind down live stream in the evening. That's where we check in, see how we did, celebrate success, and see how we can improve tomorrow. If you need encouragement during the day, look to the Raven Keep Discord server. It's a great and constructive community. Let's take over the Geekverse. So that was the index card productivity method. And so what we tried to say was, can you get those done between the end of the morning grind and the start of the wind down? And then if you are, then you're MBR. We got a bunch of different acronyms, and that's why we were shouting them out. The acronym for that is MBR. If you are MBR during the day, then you have moved big rocks. You have moved your big rocks, and so you get to celebrate here at the end of the wind down. I know. I had to include that. Don't you just manage yourself? Yes, but I am not. But that's a true. It's funny because it's so true. I mean, how many of us are good at managing ourselves? I mean, not many. I mean, I have to like. I wonder what's wrong with me that I have to account for my time in 25-minute increments according to all the different projects that I have to get done. Why do I have to do that to myself? Why can't I just sit down and be productive and get things done? Well, it's very difficult for us to do that with ourselves. Andrew says, can't stay, but just wanted to off my congratulations on the successful Kickstarter. Looking forward to many more, including those bunny action figures. Yes. So Andrew has been with me very early on with the action figures. So have you guys seen those? Some people here might not know about them. Let me reach over here. So when we're talking about lessons learned from trying to build things, let's see. I came in hard and heavy with action figure design. Because I've got a certain number of products that I want to create, and that's what I'm trying to get accomplished here. And one of the things that I want to exist are action figures. By the way, don't start with action figures. So I said these are a big deal because action figures are very difficult to do. But I want there to be action figures in the Tales of Rabavania. And I was trying. See, Boris Jason Merrick, yes, Stray just put the custom emojis for Sir Boris, Sir Jason, and Sir Merrick. So I said, all right, I wanted something big. I want there to be Tales of Rabavania action figures. So I worked with a sculptor. Well, first of all, I worked with Adam Botsford, who did the Goodnight sword illustrations, to come up with I guess I could put this up so we can track it. I'll put the link back down in here. So Adam Botsford helped me come up with all of get ideas out of my head and into a form of concept art. So we have Rabavania concept art. And then I took the concept art to Adrian Melton, who had even worked on the action figures for the Game of Thrones line. So he's a well-known action figure sculptor, and he knew actually about how to articulate action figures and so forth. So I got these sculpted. So for instance, here is, get it to focus. Here is Sir Jason. Here is Sir Jason. So this is my prototype. This is a prototype of the Tales of Rabavania action figures. So this is a resin print, so it's non-articulating, but it will articulate in the final figures. But these are just resin prints, so I could get the colors down and also the sizes down and things like that. So that is Sir Jason. This is Sir Merrick right here. Here's him. The raccoon, the barbarian raccoons. We talk about those. Here is the prototype of the action figure of Jarl Ivar, one of our barbarian raccoons. So that's what you see behind me. And then also, I had prototyped a bunch of plush toys. Well, actually, we've prototyped a bunch of action figures. I've got a bunch of action figures over here. And by the way, they're on this wooden base. I put them on this wooden base that way because these things are fragile because they're the resin, the printed resin. And so, man, these things crack. They won't do that when they're the final action figures. They'll be playable plastic. But man, I dropped one of these prototypes. They're expensive prototypes. I dropped one that shattered. I glued it back together. In fact, I think it was this one right here. And he's actually in a million pieces. So I put them on larger bases so I can actually set them down and I don't have to I don't risk them accidentally falling over. So I did a whole bunch of action figures, which are fantastic and I love. And then I also did, this is Sir Boars right here. This is Sir Boars. And this is Pate. This is our main character in Goodnight Sword right here. This is Pate. So these are prototypes. These are prototypes that manufacturers did for me of the plush toys. Because for Rabavania, I want action figures and plush toys to exist. I want role-playing game, a board game, action figures, because He-Man was so important to me as a kid, and then also plush toys. So these are actually from a manufacturer. So these are ready to go. The problem is that these require a 2,000 piece minimum order. So in order to do these, I will have to have at least 2,000, I'll have to order at least 2,000 of them. So if we crowdfund those, this will take a lot more effort. We'll take a lot more promotion. That's why we're building. It's why I was like, okay, let me go back and start small. Because, all right, it's going to take 2,000. It's going to be a 2,000 piece minimum order for every one of the plush toys. But I do love these plush toys. I think they're so great. And the action figures are similar. But the action figures, I still got to go through molding. Where is, let me show you this over here. So I have already been prototyping those action figures. Well, see, I don't think we're going to be ready yet. James says you can add them as a reward tier to the to the Kickstarter campaign for the World Primer. I don't think we're going to be ready yet, because, like I said, that would drive up the cost, or the goal. That would drive up the goal of that campaign. I really see what I was trying to do. I was trying to originally launch Goodnight Sword with the plush toy and maybe one of the action figures, but it's just too much. Like the advantage, that's why I had been pivoting. So I had structured everything that way. And then I've been pivoting around because I was like, all right, what can I do through print on demand? So just like right here, when we were starting out here with Rabbivania, we got 50 people, which is amazing. Now I know we got other people who might not need the, or have a kid who has the Goodnight Sword book. So I know other people are watching, but we got 50 people who were in on this campaign, right? But that allows us to get this book out in digital format and in hardcover. And if it's 50 people, then great. It's 50 people. This is the start. This is the start. This is how we start. But then we will grow. And then when we're right, once we've grown Rabbivania to a point in which, like, all right, it's time. We got enough people. It's time to try to make some plush toys or some action figures. Then we'll be ready. Then we'll launch it when we're ready. I just didn't have the energy to the people ready. But this right here is actually the manufacturer's prototype. And it's in pieces at the moment. But this right here, for instance, is the manufacturer's prototype of the action figure. So I've gotten this far already. You can see that this is articulation, because I've been checking the articulation. Everything is good. There was one thing that I wanted to change on the action figure, which had to do with the angle of the shield. The angle over here. Wait, we need some more fog. There we go. The angle of the shield. Because the shield right now, the handle is straight on like that. And I decided I did not like that. You know, when you're strapping a heater, has anybody ever strapped a heater before? When you're strapping a heater, you want your paw, if you're a rabbit knight, to be up here in this corner, because you're defending your face with the corner of the shield. So rather than holding the shield this way, you're actually holding the shield up like this. And I want the rabbit knights to be able to hold their shield in that same way. So if you look at the rabbit knight action figure, you go, oh, look. He's got his heater is strapped the correct way. So in the final one, let's see, this is going to be turned and angled. It's a small thing, but it will get the angle of the shield correct on the action figures. And then you can see down here that, you know, all the rabbit knights wear surcoats. They're very colorful. So up here you have the color of the surcoat. This is this is actually Sir Merrick. This is Sir Merrick's torso top. You can see that it's got the chevron on it. And then down here, these are rubber. So this is flexible. So the bottom of his surcoat. See, on my resin prototypes, the surcoat is hard because it's all resin. But that won't work because we got to be able to articulate this guy and get him into a battle pose. So the bottom of his surcoat is a much more rubbery material down here. That way you can pose him up and make him look cool. And of course, all the rabbits also. Oh, this is actually, so this is, all the rabbits come with two different heads. Oh, I just dropped the foot. But they come with two different heads, or they will come with two different heads. That way you can have them with their great helmets on. And of course, they've got the crest up here too. They've got them with their great helmet on, or you can put them with just their head. So you'll be able to swap it out. So we made two different heads for every action figure. So you can have them with the great helmet, so they're ready for the joust, or you can have them with their helmet off. But you can see right here, this is a movable ear. we just had to do movable ears. Adrian was like, we can't do rabbit action figures and not have the ears articulate. So these are pretty serious action figures. These are serious action figures. Starting with that though, these are not cheap. So we have the prototype from the manufacturer that I have approved. The next thing we have to do is make a mold. And I have been sitting on this for a long time. In order to get the molds made for these rabbit action figures, just the molds. That's not shooting a single action figure, just shooting an action figure, injecting the mold and shooting all of the plastic up inside the mold and actually making figures. But if we just want to make the molds, it's going to cost $43,000. So the molds alone will cost $43,000. So if you're talking about raising it on Kickstarter, well, the first $43,000. Now, after Kickstarter fees, but the first $43,000 would go to just getting the molds done. And I don't have an extra $43,000 sitting around right now. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get these molds done. James says, well, this sounds like a fantastic job. I work at the largest toy store in Ohio. I can put you in contact with the owner. He's done collaborative products with other toy lines, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, or Warriors of the Animal Kingdom, Premium DNA Mad Balls. So Animal Warriors, yeah, I backed that Kickstarter. And we unboxed one of the Animal Warriors because I wanted to know what they were doing. So yes, so he's worked with Animal Warriors. Well, now see, that would be some way to get these action figures into production, because I want them to be able to be in stores and things like that too. But see, right now, you don't have to make molds for the plush toys. Oh, you saw when you opened one on stream? Yeah. So there was one. So you don't have to make molds for the plush toys, but they do require a 2,000 minimum order. But you do have to make molds for these action figures. So that's what I was looking at. There's several different products that I want to have. I want there to be stories in Rabavania for each one of the different worlds. In Rabavania, I want there to be the stories. And I've been trying to work on the story writing. Right, yes. The molds are incredibly expensive. They're solid steel. Right, these are steel molds. Right, yes. They're not just like rubber molds or something like that. I also like heaters. I've strapped a heater. I mean bucklers, but I prefer a buckler. It's more wieldy if less protective, but you can use it to bash with more quickness, and I like that. Of course, I've got a buckler sitting right up there. I always like bucklers too. I know. Working in a toy store, you, sir, have made it. I know, that must be fun. You can add tooling from there, but the initial molds are very costly. Yes. Now, we designed these action figures to be as economical on parts as we could, because the molding is so expensive and the tooling is so expensive. I want to talk to you about that, James. Because it's how do we get things done? Also, it'll take also a while to make the molds. So I'm in the mood to have faster Kickstarters with faster turnarounds, but it'll take longer time to make all of those molds, like 60 days or something like that. By the time the money's transferred, it'll be at least 60 days before the molds are made. It would be fantastic if the molds could already be made before the Kickstarter runs. And that way you're just raising money to actually shoot the molds full of plastic. I hang out one day a week and they pay me. I need that job. James says, yep, you want to share parts and reuse molds as often as you can. Yeah, so eventually it'll be building a library of parts, Rabavania parts. We'll be able to do more and more and more. The bucks, the forearms, biceps, legs, feet should all be the same. Yeah, I'll show you. Like, for instance, you can see the similarities between Sir Jason. Where did I put the other one? Oh, here's Sir Merrick. Sir Jason and Sir Merrick. But they do have different torsos. They've got different torsos because their heraldry is different. So we've got different torsos. You can see a lot of these parts here are the same. And also, one thing that people asked for is they wanted different faces. So we actually came up with different faces too. So these are actually, both of these have the same head on them, but there are different face sculpts that Adrian did. We're like, I said people were asking for different faces. So I went back to Adrian and I said, we're going to need to make different faces. So there are actually alternate head sculpts as well. It's expensive. That's driving up cost. Different torsos, different heads. But it's worth it. I'm only doing these once. I'm only doing this whole project of trying to get action figures done once. So the key is to get them right. And I want them to be high quality from the beginning, because I'm not going to go back through action figures. So if you're following along on this channel, this will be part of the project. One of the projects that I'm trying to get done. I really hit this hard about 2 years ago to get them to this point. I was like, all right, what do I want to make? Tales of Rabavania. Let's do action figures. Boom. So I got them all the way to this point, or actually this point with the orange ones, which are the actual, the actual prototype from the manufacturer. So, I mean, I've been talking to a manufacturer. I've got the manufacturer, and they're sitting here to this point. Just need more people interested in Rabavania. So Rabavania, I want to have stories. So we'll have the books, we'll have the novels. I want there to be plush toys. I want there to be action figures. I want there to be a role-playing game, and I want there to be a board game. So those are the products that I'm trying to create for Tales of Rabavania. For Theophany, I would love to do Theophany action figures, like some really nice. I mean, these are really nice, but these are also, I want these also to be playable. So these are also very playable action figures, because I want you to be able to get these for your kids, because I want, or niece, nephew, whatever it is, I want people to be able to buy action figures and actually have them playable with a kid. Theophany action figures, well, first of all, might not happen because these Rabavanians are such a big process to do action figures. But the Tales of the Theophany, which Theophany tells the story of the fall of Lucifer, doing some action figures based on the fall of Lucifer, that would be cool. But they would be more adult, like collectible action figures. But over there'd be no plush toys for Theophany. But for Theophany, there might be action figures if, for instance, Rabavania goes well. But for Theophany, I want there to be stories, RPG, board games. Stories, RPG, board games. A really great Lucifer Before the Fall action figure would be awesome, wouldn't it? I know, it would be. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Can't wait to show my daughter. Very glad for you to be part of this. Heads and faces are where most of the mold variants should be. You're doing this the right way. It's just expensive. It is expensive. Oh, yes. If you are here, please do like and also give a sub. Yes, that would be great. So that's what we're trying to do here. That's what I'm trying to do with all these different worlds. And of course, I've been writing I have been, but I have not done this in several weeks. I've been trying to get the story in the main timeline down. But I have not been able to, my time reports to myself indicate that I'm just not getting creative time to sit down and try to write the story. And that sucks. I spent a lot of time writing the stories that I had, but they kind of got bounced. So I spent a lot of time writing an almost complete book, but it got bounced. Oh, you know what? I could share the first chapter with you. The first chapter is 1,000 words. James says, there was a recent Kickstarter that did a bunch of Seraphim figures. Interesting. Almighty something? Oh, I didn't see that. I have sent out, if you've gotten a package from me specifically, one that I've actually shipped out from my house, if you have gotten one that I've actually shipped out from my house, then you have probably gotten the first little passage. I need to switch back to my purple background. There we go. Now we're right with the wind down. You've probably gotten a piece of paper with the first part of the Tale of Clovis. I'm gonna have to rewrite it, but I'll share that here. I tell you what, I'll share that here. This is something very special here. Let's see. I'll drop a link. If you're coming by and you have not looked at the Kickstarter page yet, I'm gonna drop a link right over here. But then I'll tell you what I'll do. This is something very special. This has to be rewritten. But this is where I was going with the story of Clovis, which Clovis is the one of the mythical rabbits. Mad says, Friday afternoon here. Wine is on the menu. Cheers. Hey, cheers. No, James, you got some Ravenkeep 10 million rice. Those shipped out from a warehouse. So I did not ship those. So you didn't get that. Right now, what's shipping from my house is the coffee and the mugs. Ravenkeep.net, coffee and mugs. I tell you what, I will share this. Let me bring this up, and I will share this with you. This is ultra special because the only people who have seen this are people who have gotten this physically from an object that is shipped from my house. And actually, so what I won't share is Theophany, because in the packages that I shipped from my house, which is mainly the mugs from Ravenkeep.net or the coffee, then I put the start of Theophany and I put the start of Tales of Rabavania, the Tale of Clovis, in there for you to read. And like I said, this is going to have to be rewritten, but this is where I was going with it. Let's see. What document is that in? No. Might be here. We will see. So do such. Thank you, Stray. Link to the Ravenkeep store. Why isn't my document opening? Is this it? Oh, no, this is not it. Let me see if this is it. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Okay. All right. Well, so here we go. So what I was trying to do, my initial thought, which is why Stray has been posting the Tales of Rabavania YouTube channel. We talk about YouTube strategy more on like the Wednesdays, which are the world building Wednesdays. But my idea was that I wanted there to be separate YouTube channels for the stories in each world, because I thought that the stories would get lost on this channel. There's a lot of stuff coming out on this channel. This channel is mostly about creativity, looking at things, being constructive, creating things. We're looking at different RPGs. We're tabletop heavy. We're also involved in the creative. And I figured if I drop Rabavania stories and Theophany stories and Black Cipher stories onto this channel, then nobody will ever find it. So we can talk about the creation of Rabavania and Theophany and all that here on this channel. This is for that side of things. But for the stories that come out, like the audiobooks, then that needs to come out on a dedicated channel. That way, if you go to the Tales of Rabavania channel, you're just seeing the stories that are on. So I said, let me start writing this book. And I started writing this book, I don't know, maybe 18 months ago or something like that. And I said, let me start with Clovis. That's our ancient hero of the rabbits who brought fire, who brought the rabbits fire and forged the first weapons. So this is their mythical hero. And so I said, all right, what if I write this book, but what if each chapter is about 1,000 words long? That way it would be a pretty reasonable length, so that if you were to sit down and you were reading it as a bedtime story, you would have, just a chunk that's a reasonable bedtime story length that could be read. And that also it could be turned into a YouTube video that would be like, let's see. Typically you read about 150 words a minute. Yeah, like 6.5 minutes or something like that. So that would be also, each one could be produced as a YouTube video, and it'd be like 6.5 minutes or 7 minutes or something like that. So that's what I was thinking when we were, that's what I was thinking when I was writing this book. Now the book got bounced, so I'm gonna have to rewrite it, but this is where I was going. This will take us in. This will be fun. All right, so this is going to take us in. So, 10 minutes left, 9 minutes remaining. We'll probably be on an exact countdown once I finish this. So this is, I said, the tale of Clovis and Enorda. Here, the tale of Clovis and Enorda, as written by the anchorite of Willow Grove Locked. 1. Chapter 1. In Ancient Days. In ancient days, rabbits were but scared creatures who hardly dared to peek out of their burrows to forage for food. They were easy prey for all manner of beasts, but most especially the most dreadful monster in all the world, Enorda, mother of serpents. She had broad wings like an eagle, talons as sharp as a hawk, the envenomed fangs of a snake, jaws mightier than a crocodile, the ferocity of a wolf, the cunning of a lynx, and her whole body was covered with a scaly hide, thicker and harder than the greatest of lizards. She dwelt in the churning ocean that encircled the world, but she would fly and swim where she willed, for there was none that could withstand her. With her great maw she devoured all that was good and pure, and the rabbits were afraid. But then was born among rabbit kind the great rabbit Clovis. That night fiery stars streaked through the sky, and the roar of thunder caused the foundations of the world to shake, and so momentous was his birth that it consumed his mother in a fiery conflagration. Thereafter Clovis grew from a small kit to a powerful buck with astonishing speed. His body was imbued with unmatched strength. In all things, he showed the other rabbits what it meant to be brave. Then, one day, Anorta came to the warren where Clovis dwelt, and she wreaked havoc upon the countryside. The other rabbits hid, but Clovis took up a club he had fashioned and went out to see Anorta and challenged her. Anorta looked on him astonished, for she had never seen a rabbit stand so brazenly against her. She spoke, saying, "Hail and well met, Clovis, son of stars and thunder. So it is you who is the bravest rabbit of them all. But who are you to stand here as my equal? Your paws can never reach me in the sky. My breath will burn your fur to ash as swiftly as it burns the fur of all others. Your tender flesh is no defense against my fangs and claws, and your teeth cannot pierce my scales." She turned so that he could see her gleaming coat. "Now cower before me, son of stars and thunder, as all rabbits do." But Clovis stood steadfast, saying, "I will not cower, vile demon." Anorta's eyes narrowed in anger. "You will, just as all rabbits do, and will until the end of time. Tremble before me, lest I slay thee." Clovis waved his club at her and boasted, "It is thou who shalt be slain. The rabbits of my warren shall dance upon thy bones, and you shall strike fear into the hearts of rabbits no more." Anorta laughed at him and his little club, and as she did so, a burst of fire leapt from her snout, and then she flapped her wings, and the blast of air knocked Clovis to the ground. "1 year hence I shall return to this place, and you will cower before me, or else it is not you who I will devour, mighty Clovis, but all your kind and kindred, until you are the last living rabbit. Then you will be in sorrow and anguish, and rue your arrogance this day until you perish. Now get thee gone, son of stars and thunder, and consider the lives of all those you hold dear." He watched as she circled above and flew away. Clovis knew that part of what she said was true. Rabbits had no sharp teeth, deadly claws, scaly hide, or wings with which to fly. And so Clovis sat and thought until he had devised a plan by which, upon her return, Anorta might be slain. So that was what I was thinking. That's the first time that's ever been read publicly. It's got to be rewritten. It's not working. The whole story is as a whole is not working. But that's the start. But that whole thing will be rewritten before it actually comes out anywhere. I won't share anymore. But some people have already seen that, because if you got a package from me, it was in it. Now, the package also had Theophany. So the start of Theophany is already out there in the world. If you have a package from me. Sable Phoenix says, "I want to hear the rest." Well, that's good. I've got to work. It's still going to require a lot of work. So I guess it's actually the stories. That whole book was about 80% done when it kind of got bounced, and I was working with Cameron. So Cameron's been working with me. But he said, I'm moving to the main timeline. So I've got to have more time to write. That's everything that I'm actually trying to accomplish creatively is writing. And I've got to have more time to write. Yes, how did he outsmart Anorta? Sounds cool, Tomocrat says. Thank you. Let's see. Mad says, anyone played Stuffed Fables? Mix of story and board? I don't know that one. I have not. We have 4 minutes to go. 50 backers remaining. Or 50 backers? 4 minutes? Hey, I got this over here. So I've been drinking wine, but I got this. Some wild turkey. And I have this shot glass right here that I got when I was in Luxembourg. So this is my shot glass from Luxembourg. So I've got that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a shot of wild turkey, and I'm going to have that when this hits 0. And that's going to mark the very first Rabbivania Kickstarter campaign. Brent says, I imagine an Iron Man style montage of Clovis forging the first weapons and armor to face Anorta. Yes. Somebody brought up this morning, I think it was this morning or was it yesterday or something about the rabbit smiths, that would be cool imagery. It might have been you, Brad. That would be cool imagery. And yes, I really want that to be cool imagery as well. I see it in my mind that Clovis is at his forge. He's forging a spearhead like Hephaestus, drawing inspiration from Hephaestus or Vulcan, with his hammer, and he's got the anvil and he's beating the red hot iron. Sparks are flying. And then the rabbits, who are still kind of down on all fours. He's like on two legs now doing this, but all the rabbits are like in the shadows looking up at him in awe about what he's doing. No, I don't get to go to Luxembourg whenever I like. I've only been there once. I would love to go back. It was fantastic. I went when I was in college. I did a semester in Germany. So while I was in Germany, I got to travel a lot. And one of the places I went was Luxembourg. All right, so we got the wild turkey here. 2 minutes. It's been a long time since I've traveled. I wish I were able to do it more. We're gonna see some red here. I see that scene in Dragonheart forging the tri-spear. James says, I was just kidding. I've never left the U.S. My son teased Candace about all this all the time. Oh, here we go. We're now down to seconds. 115 seconds. She's been to Egypt and Poland and England. I have not been to England. I need to go to the United Kingdom. I'm thinking that's a relatively easy trip. I just have not ever done it. I always went other places in Europe, but I should get up to the United Kingdom. I've never been to Egypt. Egypt would be a lot of fun. Egypt would be really cool. Oh, Robert's got vermouth. 90 seconds now. Oh, Sable Phoenix put us at 1900. Thank you. So we are at 1900 even. So we'll see what happens next. I don't want it to be too long before we launch we're going to get this one clear, but I don't want it to be too long before we do the Rabavania World Primer. I want to keep going. Thank you, Sable. I like this format. With trying to get stuff done here. Oh, now we're red. Hey, we're also probably going to do a Crafter's Corner on Sunday, because I've been working on these archers. They're almost finished. I love how these Stark Bowmen are coming out. I just wanted to paint them to a tabletop quality, but they hit a really good look. But I've got some more guys I need to paint, so we might even do a Crafter's Corner on Sunday. It's been a while. I see Clovis just bringing a punt gun. As long as it's in the ship that we're on, I'll be okay. All right, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We got another backer. Last minute. 2, 1, 0. First Rabavania Kickstarter done. 51 backers. Thank you so much to everybody who has pledged. Actually, what I'm going to do right now, congratulations. Yay. Woo. You are here at the very beginning. All of you. Let me go over here to updates, because I have already pre-written an update. That's a wrap on the Goodnight Sword Kickstarter. So basically what we're going to say here, let me just make sure that it's right. That's a wrap on the Goodnight Sword Kickstarter campaign. The Goodnight Sword Kickstarter campaign has come to a successful conclusion. Thank you all for being a part of it. This campaign is a major milestone in what we are creating, because it's the first book to be released in the world of Rabavania, one of several worlds we'll be creating. So what's next? Most immediately, Kickstarter will collect payment for the rewards over the next few days, and then deposit the funds with me in 2 weeks so I can order the books for everyone. I do want to move through the fulfillment process as quickly as possible. In order to do that, I will need to get everyone's shipping address. I will collect that through a Kickstarter survey sent out in about 2 weeks. If you are not already with me on YouTube, I run a live stream each morning called The Morning Grind at 9:30 a.m. Central. This morning, we took a look at diceless role-playing in the context of RPG design because the next project up will be the Tales of Rabavania RPG. It was a great discussion, and you can watch the replay right there, so I embedded that. I'm not sure what tomorrow's topic is yet, but we will be live, but we will... Oh. B. Glad I reread it right before I sent it. But we will be live tomorrow morning, talking tabletop in the Geekverse. I will be in touch, and if you need anything, please let me know. Publish. There we go. Going out. Thank you, Brett and James. Yeah, we had a change, but it's okay. We got 51. So 51. We had more than 50 backers. My OCD is offended. Oh, Joel. Oh, Joel came in. Thank you, Joel. Well, here's to you, Joel. Here you go. All right. Well, that was fun. That was fun. So I'm thinking that later, that starting maybe next week now, Michelle wants to come back on Wednesday. But I'm thinking that what may happen is the wind down may become a members only stream, like our members only hangout stream or something like that, maybe starting next week. So we will see. So, but sometimes it can be public, whatever. But I'm thinking that might happen because I need a good way to do the members only streams. Thank you so much for being here with me, everybody. Thank you so much. This was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I'm going forward again. I feel like I've got new momentum. Had a bunch of kind of projects. They didn't get off the ground, so it's been kind of been a non-productive last 12 or 18 months, I feel like. But this right here is going forward again. So now we are going forward again. It has started, it has begun, and we are moving on. Got the email? Excellent. All right. Well, tomorrow, I'll still have to come up with a topic for tomorrow morning, but I'm going to celebrate. Thank you all so much for being here with me. I will see everybody tomorrow morning, and it'll be a new day. We'll be still working on fulfilling that project, but we'll also start moving on the next one. Thank you so much for celebrating with me. Thank you. Oh, wait. I know how we're supposed to conclude this. The wind down always concluded. Can't believe I forgot this. I did. I moved a big rock. Yes, Stray. The wind down, I was like, how are we supposed to finish the wind down? But traditionally, when we were doing the wind down, it ends with not Yeti Hug Break. It actually ends with Goodnight Sword.
Goodnight Sword.
Leave everybody with.
Written by E.H. Robinson.
This is a great way to end. So,
illustrated by Adam.
Hope everyone has a wonderful night.
Narrated
let's end
by Brianna
with Goodnight Sword.
Part of the Tales of Rabavania. Goodnight Sword. Goodnight Gourd. Goodnight guards who keep us all safe. Goodnight dagger. And the iron hauberk. Goodnight cheese. Goodnight keys. Goodnight elm. And goodnight helm. Goodnight squire. And goodnight liar. Goodnight shield. And good night to the lance only the gallant wield. Good night banner. And good night jewel. Good night gruel. Goodnight, Knights. And good night to the old soldier who says time's been cruel. Good night, maiden fair, whose favor I bear. Good night, rabbits everywhere.